We'll call the Wednesday, January 29th, Investment Advisory Committee organizational meeting and regular meeting to order. Roll call, Treasurer Lamacusa here, Commissioner Rick Hernandez
Here.
Commissioner Tony Bernard,
Here.
Commissioner Malloy absent, Clerk of Courts Randy Law.
Here.
Next order of business under the organizational meeting is election of chairperson, vice chairperson, and secretary. Motion to nominate Sam Lamacusa chairperson, Rick Hernandez vice chairperson, and Tony Bernard secretary. I'll explain the motion, Mr. Bernard, don't panic. The commissioner serves as secretary so that your clerk can be the record keeper of the meeting. So, okay, so that's the reason a commissioner serves as secretary. Motion's in order for that.
Second the motion.
Motion Sam, motion Lamacusa, second Bernard. Roll call Lamacusa, yes. Bernard,
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Law.
Yes.
Sorry. Now we need a motion to elect those positions.
So move.
Motion Bernard, second Hernandez. Roll call Bernard,
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Law.
Yes.
Lamacusa, yes. That'll bring us to, should be item 3, establishment of membership meetings and record keeping policy, which is attached in your packets. Motions in order.
So move.
Motion Bernard, second Hernandez. Roll call, Bernard,
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Law,
Yes.
Lamakusa, yes. Item 4 is establishment of the 2025 meeting dates and locations. The meeting dates are 1/29/25, 10 a.m., 4/30/2025, 10 a.m., 7/30/2025, 10 a.m., 10/29/2025, 10 a.m. Meeting location is here on the 5th floor in the County Administration Building meeting room. Motion to accept the minute.
So moved.
Motion Hernandez, second
Yes.
Bernard. Roll call Hernandez.
Yes.
Bernard.
Yes.
Law,
Yes.
Lamakusa, yes. Item 5 is approval of the county investment policy, which was a part of your packet. Policy has been in place quite some time. And we'll talk about the policy later on in the regular meeting. Motion is in order to approve the policy.
So moved.
Motion Hernandez.
Second.
Second Bernard. Roll call Hernandez.
Yes.
Bernard.
Yes.
Law,
Yes.
Lamakusa, yes. That bring us to the adjournment of the reorganizational meeting. Motion
So move.
Bernard, second Law. Roll call Bernard,
Yes.
Law,
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Lamakusa, yes. That ends that portion of the meeting. Now we're going to go into our regular quarterly meeting. Am I too loud, miss?
No.
And called to order by Chairperson Lamakusa. Treasurer Lamakusa here, Commissioner Rick Hernandez,
Here.
Commissioner Tony Bernard,
Here.
Commissioner Danny Malloy absent, Clerk of Courts Randy Law.
Here.
Item 2, acceptance of minutes of the October 30, 2024 IAC meeting. In case there's a question on accepting minutes for a meeting that you did not attend, I've questioned the prosecutor's office on this action. And they said the minutes have to be approved so they can be approved by your new board. So
Okay.
there's no harm in doing the step we're doing.
Then a motion?
Motion Hernandez, second Bernard. Roll call Hernandez.
Yes.
Bernard.
Yes.
Law,
Yes.
Lamakusa, yes. That'll bring us to item 3, a review of our fourth quarter 2024 investment portfolio, and that'll be done by Ms. Gearhart of the Treasurer's Office, Chief Deputy Gearhart.
Good morning, everyone. I have provided each of you with a packet of the reports at your desk if you'd like to review along with me. The first item that we're going to review is on the treasurer's letterhead. It is our transmittal letter. It details the contents of the reporting package as well as who may have affected transactions on behalf of the investment authority for the period of the reports. I'm going to review and highlight the various reports that are listed here. If you have any questions, please feel free to interject, and Treasurer Lamakusa or I will do our best to address them. So let's move over to the first report in your packet on page 1. It is a summary of investment balances for the month end December 2024. It shows that we had approximately $134.9 million invested, and you can see the breakdown there. The reports I'm going to be going over focus on the securities and the CDs. So I'd like to take a moment just to touch base with you on where the Fed funds rate is, as well as where the Star Ohio rate is. Now, the Fed funds and the Star Ohio rates are not in your packet. This is just for informational purposes. Now, the Fed funds rate is the rate at which depository institutions lend reserve balances to other depository institutions overnight, and it is set by the Federal Open Market Committee. They actually have meetings regularly, and their meeting is actually taking place today and yesterday. It is expected that they're going to keep the rates at the same level that they have been at today's meeting, but there is a lot of uncertainty going forward as to future decreases. So we will keep you apprised at the meetings as far as what happens. Their next meeting is in March. Just to give you an idea where the rates are, during 2024, they made 3 decrease actions, reducing in a total of 1%. It is expressed as a range of numbers, and as of December 19th, it was moved to the range of 4.25% to 4.50%. Now, with regards to Star Ohio, just to give you a little bit of historical perspective on those rates, a year ago at the end of December 2023, the Star Ohio rate was 5.58%, and we have seen decreases throughout 2024. At the end of our first quarter, it was at 5.47%. The end of the second quarter, 5.45%. And the end of our third quarter, it was down to 5.08%. Now, throughout the current quarter, we have also seen declines. At the end of October, it was down to 5.01%, November 4.79%, and December 4.6%. And as of yesterday, it sits at 4.53%. Now we're going to move over to our next report. It is the first of our CD reports. It's on page 2. It's our quarterly CD interest history. There are no transactions to report for the CD interest during the quarter. Moving on to page 3, Treasurer Lamacusa did not make any investments in CDs during the quarter, so there is nothing to report here on the quarterly CD purchase report. Page 4 is our quarterly CD inventory report, and there are no transactions or balances to report for the quarter. Now we're going to move over to page 5 and 6. This is our quarterly security interest history. This is the first of our security reports. It details that there were 24 payments processed by the Treasurer's Office for interest revenue on securities totaling $211,233.33 for the quarter. The low rate out of that was 0.3%, and that was earned on a security that actually matured in November. And the high rate was 6%, and that was earned on a security that was called in October. So unfortunately, we don't have that 6% item any longer. Now we're going to move over to page 7. This is our quarterly security purchase report. It reflects that Treasurer Lamacusa made 4 different investments in securities during the quarter, totaling $3,250,000. All have fixed coupon rates, and as you can see here, we have one at 4.45%, another at 4.55%, one at 4.25%, and then the last one listed there is at 4.35%. The terms range from 2 years to 4 years. Now we're going to move over to the quarterly security interest or inventory report. That is located on pages 8 through 11. At the top in the bold red font, you'll be able to see all of the maturities and calls that happened during each month of the quarter. And to recap, during October, $2 million matured and $1 million was called. In November, we had $2 million mature and $1 million was called. And then in December, we had $2 million mature. Then they are listed in outstanding order of maturity. And actually, we have one item, an FHLB for $1 million that is actually maturing today. And it had a coupon rate at a fixed 0.65. Now, the new ones that Treasurer Lamacusa invested in are incorporated throughout in their maturity order in bold red font. If we flip over to page 11, you'll see in the lower left corner the activity that happened. So a little summary, we had a previous quarter balance of $44 million in a book value. Then we had during the quarter $2 million that was called, $6 million that matured, and investments of $3,250,000, bringing the current book value at the end of December to $39,250,000. And then if you look to the lower right-hand corner, you'll see our maturity schedule for our securities. And we have items that are maturing as of today all the way out to 3.75 years. And in general, our limit is 5 years. Let's proceed over to page 12. This is our interest versus fees comparison. We're going to start with the bank fees for Huntington and Farmers. The year-to-date bank fees, net bank fees that were posted were $3,477.17. Now let's touch base on the interest. As we mentioned at our previous meeting, we submitted a letter to the auditor in October to increase our estimate for 2024 to $5,886,768.53. The actual interest that is reflected here shows that we exceeded that budget a little bit, bringing in $5,978,664.32 in interest for the year. The budget that we submitted for 2025's interest back in the fall was $4,422,435.61. And due to the uncertainty of the economy and interest rates, we regularly review those, and then we'll update you at our quarterly meetings and also update the auditor's office so that the budget can be amended if necessary. But at this time, it's really hard to give you a set in stone number what's going to happen because it's out of our control. Okay, let's move on to page 13. This is the first of our annual reports, and we only provide these at this January meeting each year. The first item is our annual CD interest history, and as you can see, Treasurer Lamacusa didn't have any investments in the CDs, so there's nothing to report. We're going to move now over to the security interest history for the year, and that's covered on pages 14 to 18. Just to summarize, there were 104 payments processed during the year. The low rate that was posted was 0.3%, and the high rate that was earned was 6.05%. And unfortunately, that was on a security that was called in January of 2024. So we're not earning that any longer. Now, if we keep on flipping back to page 17 there, you'll see the total security interest history over in the right for the securities for 2024, and that was $978,126.39. Now we're going to move over to page 19. It's our historical interest data. And at the top, I give you a summary of the Trumbull County's annual interest history back to 2001 so that you can see how things have gone up and down over this time. 2024 provided the highest interest revenue in the last 24 years, surpassing 2007, which came in at number 2, and 2023, which held our number 3 position in total interest earnings over this time frame. Then at the bottom, I give you a summary of Star Ohio's daily overnight yield at the year end so that you can see how those rates have fluctuated across time as well. The last item you have in your packet is the Treasurer's Office Daily Form 6, and this is completed by our head cashier each day and submitted to the auditor's office. The first page here reflects the receipts that flowed through the Treasurer's Office during that day and the disbursements that flowed out, and this is for December 31st. And then the second page of this Form 6 reflects where all of the balances of the money would be held at, including the investments that we just reviewed. So that concludes the fourth quarter reports. Do we have any questions at this time? Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Report.
Thank you.
I only have one clarification. I hear everybody talk about this $211 million that on page 5. That's the total investment for everybody in the county, correct?
On page 5.
Right. 211 million.
There's 211,000. That there is the interest that was.
Oh, that's the interest?
That
Okay.
was the interest that was earned on the securities. Go ahead.
Commissioner, alls we report here is what the investments
Oh,
have
okay.
done.
Right.
Okay, so that number you're seeing there is 211,000. It's, that would be interest earnings. The issues you would be addressing aren't a part of this board.
right,
I'm
okay.
sorry,
But,
but,
but you know what I'm talking about when.
I understand what you're talking about. Those issues would be addressed more
Right,
with your board and the
Right.
county auditor's office.
right. Okay.
Sorry for
Yeah,
that,
no,
but,
no.
I'm not going to answer questions at my board meeting
I-
that don't pertain to me
Right,
is
I,
all
I,
I'm really saying. I mean,
I agree with that. Okay.
okay, I mean, we're quite proud of our actions in the treasurer's office managing this portfolio for the county. Ms. Gerhart, as you can see, the report in front of you is, it's excellent.
It
It's-
is.
And she handles
Thank
it
you.
quite well. Another thing I want to say during this time frame is that at any point in time, if you give Ms. Gerhart's, because we only meet 4 times a year. Now, we do send you a report every single month. Okay, so you got a couple trains of thoughts, being all new blood. I'm looking at 3 people that this has to be boom. I mean, wow, at any point in time, if you want to set up a meeting with myself or Ms. Gerhart or both of us to review this program, to review these reports and everything, she would be more than glad to do that, most definitely. The quarterly reports are very important. A report you want to see though, and you'd want to, and we send you the complete report every month. That's the report you would, in my opinion, you wish to watch and pay attention to. We, we are proud as all heck of that. I did it well. I didn't, we are proud, very proud of that, it, history report that Ms. Gerhart just gave you. For a lot of reasons, we've set history in Trumbull County as a whole with our investment recordings. The irony is that Sam Lamacusa on that report has the lowest amount of interest ever earned and the highest amount of interest ever earned. So, what that tells you is it's us doing our job, but it's the economy and the times that do it as well. So those are definite factors. And one other thing that we will brag about a lot is that you are sitting in one of the only counties of the top 20 in the state of Ohio that does not use the services of an investment corporation or an investment advisor. Now, why don't we do that? Because they cost money. Okay. It would be, in my estimation, we could spend anywhere from 60 to $130,000 a year using an investment advisor to oversee our portfolio. Now, we might gain a little bit more with the help of an investment portfolio manager. I can't envision ever getting much more than we are getting. So that's the reason that we do that. So we will we're going to have 2 motions here in a minute. I need a motion to accept Ms. Gerhardt's report.
I so move.
Motion Bernard, second Hernandez to accept the fourth quarter investment report. Roll call Bernard.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Law.
Yes.
Lamacusa. Yes. Okay, now we need a motion to accept Commissioner Malloy into the meeting.
So move.
Motion Bernard, second Hernandez to
Yes.
accept Commissioner Malloy into the meeting. Roll call Bernard.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Law.
Yes.
Lamacusa, yes. We're on item number 4, in the regular meeting, Commissioner. We just finished the review of, or the quarterly report. Now we're going to talk about item 4, review of investment policy. And I mentioned this in our, reorganizational meeting that we'll talk about that when we got here. The investment policies is a part of your packet. There is no change to the investment policy as of today. That will always be listed on your agenda though. So if we have a change, we need an issue, we need to address anything with the investment policy, that's this point in the meeting it would occur. It's not going to hit you at the meeting though. If there's a need for a change, if there's a need to discuss anything with the investment policy, you're going to have previous understanding of why that's going to happen. It's not going to just be, here's the new investment policy, vote on it. It'll be explained in depth and everything. To be quite assuring to you, it hasn't been changed in 15 years. So that's why it's there. Under, that bring us to, anybody have any questions on the investment policy? Okay, I bring us to item number 5, old business. The only thing I have under old business today is that your clerk has a sign off sheet for the meeting dates and the investment policy that everyone will need to sign off on. So she'll be circulating that with you all. At both policies she'll have to you. That's all I have under old business. I have nothing under new business. Committee member comments or reports?
I just want to, oh, go ahead, Commissioner.
I only have one comment, and I spoke briefly with you the other day, and I'm going to say it again today. I think you and your office, I think you guys do one outstanding job, and you know, I probably spoke more to you the other day than we have in our entire lives, and but I really think that the treasurer's office is doing one outstanding job, and I think when you're no longer here, I think the county's really going to miss you, and I just appreciate what you guys have done through the years.
I'm very graciously thankful for those comments. And I know you get upset when I answer you back. There's a
No.
saying in my nationality that 3 days gone, 3 days forgotten. So the county will be okay once I'm gone. I appreciate you having those thoughts and everything. My office will carry on just like I'm there because they're afraid that I might come back and holler at them if they do something wrong. So yeah.
I'd like to second that too. He said everything that I would say, Sam. I
Thank
think
you.
your office does a great job.
We're
and
very
I
proud.
want
Thank you.
to commend Ms. Gerhart too for this report and your thoroughness.
Yeah.
Very nice to see on a county level here.
And please don't be shy when you get time, if you want to set up a meeting with Ms. Gerhart to go over this. I mean, these packets are immense. And I sit and think, what would I feel like if some guy with a beard sent me this 55-page packet, told me to show up at a meeting? So, anytime you want to set up a meeting with her, she'll be more than glad to help you. She's an extremely busy individual. She has a boss that makes her do every gosh darn thing in the world. So she might have to put you out a little bit on her calendar, but she'll get you on her calendar. Mr. Malloy.
I echo their sentiments too, Sam. You're outstanding. Do you foresee, we're going through budget things and stuff right now, do you foresee any of your staff leaving when you leave?
No,
Or
sir.
we're still going to be blessed
No,
with
sir.
Ms. Gerhardt's services for a long time to come, hopefully.
Under my control, no, sir. Nobody's leaving. Nobody's walking out the door with me other than me. The 32 years of experience is only me walking out the door.
Perfect. And that's good to hear because I know your department's outstanding and the work they do will help carry on and continue us on into the future without missing a beat, hopefully.
And like it or not, I won't be a stranger, especially to staff, to Ms. Gerhart. If I'm called and asked a question, I mean, my entire staff has my phone number in their phones and everything. So, I mean, I'll try to help in any way I can. I don't step on toes though. I don't believe in that. I don't like when somebody tries to step on my toes, so I'll never step on somebody else's toes, but I'll try to help staff in any way I can. Those are kind of issues that aren't relevant to this meeting, though. I appreciate
but
them, but
it's-
they aren't.
It's things that needed to be
Yeah,
said.
thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Public comments are now, but you can only public comment if you signed in. But I don't think anybody's here that wanted to public comment anyway. So that'll bring us to item 9, motion for adjournment.
So move.
Motion Bernard, second Malloy. Roll call Bernard.
Yes.
Malloy,
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Law,
Yes.
Lamakusa, yes.